The NASCAR season will start in less than 2 months, and it is already officially 2023. There will probably be greater anticipation for this forthcoming season than for others, mostly due to the fact that numerous drivers are changing teams and a few returning drivers have joined the paddock. One of the most prominent plots involves Kyle Busch joining Richard Childress Racing after leaving Joe Gibbs Racing. The other is Jimmie Johnson, who is making a comeback to NASCAR as a driver and owner with Petty GMS Motorsports. And what will be the new game plan for 2023? Let's find out together. Hello NASCAR fam, and welcome back to NASCAR Live. But before we begin, subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. And let's begin. One had to wonder what was in store for everyone as the first race of the season approached. Tyler Reddick will be racing for 23X1 Racing in addition to Busch and Johnson. While this is going on, Allmendinger switches to a full-time position with the Kaulig Racing crew. Returning to the Cup Series, Preece will be driving for Stewart-Haas Racing this time. While Gragson and Ty Gibbs advance to the Cup Series, Dillon switches from Petty GMS to Spire Motorsports. Kyle Busch is on a mission following the commotion over his Cup Series status in 2022. Due to the fact that he's now driving for a brand new team, he will want to demonstrate that he's not a one-team player. There are also events like the Daytona 500 for which his mental peace is devoid of the winning trophies. The driver in position number 8 will surely fix his blunder as soon as possible. Kyle Busch, on the other hand, will understand that it'll not be simple to win the elusive Daytona 500, but he has a lot of support from many followers who believe he can extricate himself from the situation. At the same time, Jimmie Johnson is making a comeback to the Cup Series. A good number of his admirers have backed him to win one or more races as a result of this, which has thrilled many of his fans. They fervently hope and pray that in 2023, the 7-time Cup Series champion returns to his winning ways. Fans are convinced that Johnson can win a race despite his restricted number of race opportunities. Jimmie Johnson will compete with Petty GMS Motorsports in the 2023 season, and for the first time in his NASCAR Cup Series career, he will wear a number other than number 48. 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Jimmie Johnson is scheduled to make his first appearance in the Cup Series since he ended his full-time career at the conclusion of the 2020 season after spending the 2 previous years racing for Chip Ganassi Racing in IndyCar. Johnson, who competed for Hendrick Motorsports exclusively and only ever drove the number 48 Chevrolet during his 19 seasons as a full-time driver at NASCAR's highest level, never raced for any other team. However, each of those 2 streaks will expire in 2023. The 47-year-old native of El Cajon in California has joined Petty GMS Motorsports in 2 capacities. As a partial owner and as a part-time driver, he will take part in a few of the 2023 calendar's events, starting with the Daytona 500 at Daytona International Speedway. There is not a lot of information available about Johnson's plans for his return season other from his team debut. Johnson's schedule for 2023 has not been released, and his crew chief has not been officially confirmed. The 83-time race winner's car number, though, the most controversy this offseason. Johnson will compete for a team other than Rick Hendrick's organization for the first time and drive a car with a number other than number 48 for the first time when he makes the 687th start of what is anticipated to be a 21-year Cup Series career this coming February. Alex Bowman is scheduled to continue as a driver of the number 48 Chevrolet in 2023, despite rumors that Hendrick Motorsports would give up the car so Johnson could use it with his new team. What number will Johnson therefore run at Petty GMS Motorsports? Johnson's entry in 2023 has been suggested for a lot of numbers, with varied justifications offered to support these ideas. Given that 49 is 7 times 7 and that Richard Petty, the team's co-owner, is also a 7-time champion like Johnson, the number 49 has most recently been a possibility, if not the favorite. The only other number that may be used to replace number 48 now that number 47 has been eliminated is number 49. Although Johnson and Petty GMS Motorsports have not set a deadline for an announcement, it is likely to happen sooner rather than later, given that one of Johnson's planned events is the season-opening Daytona 500 at Daytona International Speedway on Sunday, February 19. So, who is Jimmie Johnson? Let's take a deeper dive. The best race car drivers in NASCAR history include Jimmie Johnson. His 5 straight NASCAR Cup Championship victories are what made him most well known. Cale Yarborough is the only other racing car driver to have won 3 straight races in NASCAR history. Over the course of his career, he took home a total of 7 NASCAR championships. On September 17th of 1975, Jimmie Kenneth Johnson was born in El Cajon, in California. Jimmie competed in a number of leagues before joining the NASCAR Sprint Cup in 2002. For the majority of his racing career, Jimmie Johnson was the driver of the Hendrick Motorsports car with the number 48. Jimmie's current colleague Jeff Gordon assisted him in obtaining the position. Lowe's was the primary sponsor of the Chevrolet that was used in the race. What inspired Jimmie Johnson to start racing? Jimmie entered his first race at the young age of 5. At age 8, he participated in his first motorcycle race and won the 60cc championship. From then, Jimmie made his way up through several racing leagues before making it to NASCAR. Jimmie's parents were quite active in his early career, working hard to drive him from track to track and even pitching in and helping with the races. How successful has Jimmie Johnson been in the NASCAR? It is simply surprising how well Jimmie Johnson has done in NASCAR. From 2006 to 2010, he gained 5 consecutive Sprint Cup Series titles, with 4 straight victories in 2007. Jimmie also tied a NASCAR record. He was the first driver of a race car to get the 2009 AP Male Athlete of the Year award. He was also awarded the Most Influential Athlete for 2011 and 2012 by Forbes.com. One of the greatest drivers in NASCAR racing history is regarded as Jimmie Johnson. Quick facts about Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie Johnson travels to and from the races every week in his own private plane. He resides in Mooresville, North Carolina, with his wife Chandra at the moment. Cartoon characters Tweety and Sylvester were painted on Jimmie's car at the Chevy Monte Carlo 400 in 2002. The Jimmie Johnson Foundation supports the dreams of deserving children and families. For the most NASCAR championships ever, he is tied with Kyle Petty and Dale Earnhardt. The NASCAR Cup Points race saw him take the lead for the first time as a rookie. In order to aid those affected by the California wildfires, Jimmie gave the Red Cross his winnings from the Atlanta Motor Speedway Cup race in 2007. Why is Jimmie Johnson joining NASCAR again? Johnson claimed in a news release that he thought his position with Petty GMS was the correct move for him moving forward. With regard to co-owner Maury Gallagher, Johnson said, "When the IndyCar season ended, I started on this path of what was next. Maury and I connected. This opportunity came to light, and it's the right fit for me." Johnson had been absent from NASCAR for almost 2 years, but he gave the impression in July that a comeback was a possibility when he refused to rule anything out. What exactly is Petty GMS? NASCAR icon Richard Petty and Maury Gallagher jointly own the racing organization Petty GMS Motorsports. Gallagher Motorsports was the name of the company when it was first established. In 2021, Petty GMS Motorsports was incorporated into the company, having fielded drivers Ty Dillon and Eric Jones this season. The team started racing in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2022. Johnson will co-own with the only guy still alive who has achieved as much with NASCAR as he has in his new role. Along with Johnson himself and Dale Earnhardt, Petty is one of just 3 drivers who have captured the NASCAR Cup Series championship 7 times. On the other hand, it seems like plans are currently underway for a classic NASCAR racing series. That would certainly be something. Midway through December, Justin Marks, the owner of a NASCAR team, posted a proposal for a NASCAR Classic on social media. The concept would bring NASCAR race vehicles from earlier periods back into competition on present racing tracks. The concept was immediately embraced by racing enthusiasts with fond memories. Soon after, ex-drivers and crew chiefs stood up and offered to step up and supply the vehicles for such a concept. A few days later, NASCAR submitted a fascinating trademark application. The other co-owner of Trackhouse Racing is Justin Marks. The team, in his words, is more of a brand, and they have a track record of coming up with original ideas. What if we held the first ever NASCAR historic race event? Justin Marks wrote on Twitter on December 17th. The quality of the competition would be second to merely a celebration of the heritage. Marks continued, wouldn't be a full-on race, just a display of the legacy. NASCAR acted just a few days after the first post of Justin Marks. The next move was a trademark application for NASCAR Classic. What will happen next then? We'll see, I suppose. Meanwhile, 2 full entries will be fielded by Jordan Anderson Racing, Bomarito Autosport during the 2023 NASCAR Xfinity Series season. As a result of the team's expansion, the drivers have been identified as Jeb Burton and Parker Retzlaff. Myatt Snider drove the number 31 Chevrolet for the whole campaign the previous year. He finished the year with 1 top 5 and 4 top 10 finishes, ranking 18th in points. Burton has 109 career starts in NASCAR's secondary division with 13 top 5s and 31 top 10 finishes. He is the son of former Daytona 500 champion Ward Burton. He will operate the number 27 vehicle at JAR. At Talladega Superspeedway in 2021, the 30-year-old scored his lone Xfinity triumph. According to a team press release, Burton expressed his excitement at the prospect of competing for JAR Bomarito Autosport in 2023. Success is within sight, according to what I have seen JAR Bomarito Autosport put together over the past few years. When Jordan and I initially talked about this idea last summer, I felt that it would be useful for all of us as we work to forge a lasting relationship here. Now that it has materialized, I feel that it will be. As a result of all that is going on, I hope to be able to provide our many wonderful partners who have supported me for so long a spectacular season this year. Starting the season at Daytona is something that I'm looking forward to. Retzlaff, who is only 19 years old, made an impression in a few of his Xfinity starts the previous year. A few weeks later, in just his second career start, he finished in the top 10 after qualifying 6th in his debut. In all, he participated in 9 races in 2022. For 2023, he will take Snider's seat in the number 31 vehicle. And that ends today's episode. We sincerely hope you have enjoyed the video. If so, please click on the like button and share it with your friends and family. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see even more of our incredible videos. You can also check out our other videos that have been specially selected for you. We will catch up in the next video.